You're tuned to KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico, 90.9 FM. And now 103.3 FM, K277CR, Durango, Colorado.
In a medical emergency, stroke, heart attack, trauma, every minute matters. The decisions made in those first moments can change everything. San Juan Regional Medical Center offers advanced, comprehensive, definitive care. Available 24 hours a day for everyone in our community. When minutes matter, San Juan Regional Medical Center is here. Find out more at sanjuanregional.com.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Cop Shop with FPD. I'm your host, Chief Steve Hebbe, and with me as always, although almost not with us, suffering what was near catastrophic chair incident, is Chenise.
I took a vacation almost straight to the ground. It was fine.
Yeah, it was a loud clunk and feet were going up. It looked bad.
No injuries.
No injuries to report. It's a workers' comp. We don't have a call for you. So that's a rough way to start our show, just seconds before. But we managed to pull it off. So we're with you again. It is a very hot June, which we are nearing halfway through. And it's nice weather, I guess, but it's hot.
It is very hot. We had a very long kind of spring. My grass was doing great, wasn't burning. I would have been happy for that to continue, and then all of a sudden it is hot as heck.
Yeah, it is without a lot of refreshment coming from what I'm seeing. I think we're in the 90s later on this weekend, and it's been upper 80s, if not in the 90s, for the last week and a half or so. So pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I will be in Denver this weekend, so I will be cooling off over there.
Oh, very good.
Leave the rest of you guys to roast.
Yes, well, that will be cooler up there. It is Denver, though, so you've got to be there, though. So we've had a busy couple of weeks in a variety of different ways. First of all, we had Riverfest, which was, again, a pretty good success. Lots of people attended. We didn't have many incidents that the police were involved in, that's for sure. I was able to be down there, and it looked like a great time was had by all. You made it down?
I did not make it down. I drove by, and the parking was a little bit insane.
The parking was big.
But that event does seem to grow every year, so that's nice.
It is.
It's good for the community.
It is. And the Riverwalk, I love the Riverwalk anyway. It's been just a great little jewel for us here. And the fact that they do that up when they got the music and everything, it's just great. So if you didn't get a chance to, you'll have the chance next year. I did not make the wiener dog races, which I think those. Scott is the big announcer on it, and I'm not sure how Scott fell into that role, but he is the wiener dog masseuse, I guess, for lack of a better word. So, but he's on vacation, so I don't even really have Scott. I've got his substitute, Scott 2, I guess, sitting in. Scott 2 is a Dodgers fan, makes it much tenser. The atmosphere, you can just feel the animosity in the room. Mostly from me, honestly. And you can feel it, though, right? And you're not a fan of the Dodgers, I don't think.
No.
No, a lot of anger towards Scott.
A lot. We can cut the air with a knife right now.
In fact, we don't have a ton for you right now, but we could watch the tension between these two. And so, Shanice, why don't you tell him what you think of his Dodgers buying the league every year? Gets a little old, but we'll save that for another show. I do miss Scott 1, let's put it that way. There's a lot less tension here.
I could pull the plug.
Excuse me. So we also had the sheriff's race, as well as all the other elections, which for those of you that are not fans of signs, you should be rejoicing right about now, because the signs are coming down across Farmington, across San Juan County, really. But there were many pretty hotly contested races for a primary season. 4 candidates for sheriff, and the winner was former Sheriff Ken Christensen. He will wind up he'll be unopposed in November, and will then become the next sheriff of San Juan County. But 4 good candidates all made their case, and it was, I think, quite a few people got out and voted in it. It was a close race. It fell to Ken, and I look forward to us working, and we did work together once before. I look forward to us working together again. We also had some judge races. You had the governor primary. And I think that was Hall versus Hayland. Now it will be in November. So lots of big races coming up this November. But I'm pleased to see a little less of the signs, and I'm not getting the random texts I was getting before. How about you?
I'm just glad to see it off of the Crime Watch page.
Oh, yeah. Was it there?
Yeah, just people complaining about the signs or not really understanding where they can have signs, where they can't have signs, people asking questions, just lots of complaints.
Yeah, so while I didn't see those, I do know that the signs are a source of complaint, and a couple of years back the city council voted there's 5 different designated places where you can have signs. I think that was probably expanded fairly liberally. And so that does wind up falling on our code enforcement division at FPD. We try and nurse that along, get people to get back in. You can obviously have whatever you want on private property, but on public property, there's 5 designated places here in the city, and when it gets beyond those 5, we start getting complaints. Pretty much every election, and our code enforcement division works pretty hard to make sure that it's fair for everybody, that no one candidate's putting their signs in a place that nobody else can or should. So I'm glad to be done with all of that too.
I did appreciate, though, those business owners that see those opportunities where there's nothing but political signs, and then you see a great big lawn service care sign, or just something totally different, just kind of promoting their business right there in the middle of all of it, because
Yes.
Everybody's looking at it, so that
Yep.
always made me laugh.
People are opportunistic.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it, and I'm pleased to just be focused on crime fighting and not sign fighting,
Yeah.
I guess. There will be some. Obviously, like I said, the sheriff's race is now over, except for just the perfunctory election, which is unopposed in November. But there's some other elections in November that will still be hotly contested, including the governor's race. I think there's a judgeship race that will be contested as well. So, keep yourself informed. Get some of the literature. Use AI to ask what different positions there are. Watch for some of the debates in the fall, and get yourself out in November and vote. There was a lot of early voting, I think, this year here. I did not get that done. Scott, you're nodding your head. You did it?
I worked for the Associated Press this year.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Look at that.
I know.
As what?
I was just a vote counter.
Oh, really?
That's all I did was send them numbers.
Look at that. Well, if anybody can count high, it's a Dodger fan. I know that. So.
And I like voting on the day of. Like, I like being able to see all the people and just the coming and going, and feeling more of a part of it.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, there's going to be a decision made.
Yes. I do like that too. I didn't early vote. I don't generally, but I went at City Hall, of course, right next door, and I think I was the 8th one, and it was like 2 hours into the time. So, what I was hearing was the museum and the library were much busier.
That's where I went, was the library,
Yeah.
and it was busy.
And I have gone to the library some in the past. I haven't done the museum, but so next year, keep that in mind. If you want to go early and not have a big crowd, City Hall was reasonably well open. They were pretty well staffed, and but they're all friendly people, so I enjoyed that. So the election was big news. That will have an impact on the sheriff's office. Sheriff Ferrari will be retiring, and then Sheriff Christensen will take over, and we'll see what in the coming months. We'll see what he wants to focus on, and I know in general his policies, but the specifics of it I think are yet to be worked out. And he hasn't named publicly at least an undersheriff, so we'll see who the undersheriff is there as well. So still more news to come on that front. We also are driving steadily towards the opening of our new building. which
Very exciting.
that has been a long time coming for us, and we had bought it before you were hired, I think, hadn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So, for those of you that have not tracked it that closely or just forgot, we actually purchased at a real reduced rate. Hillcorp made a nice gesture to the police department, to the city of Farmington, for one of their headquarters buildings over at Angela and Bloomfield Highway. So it's kind of in the southeast corner of the city. Maybe that wouldn't be optimally where I would want to see a police station built, but we got it for pennies on the dollar, a large donation, in other words, to us. Now what we've spent the last several years doing is trying to get ourselves into a spot where we could refurbish it to make it a police station and not an office building. And that was millions of dollars. We started that, if you recall, about a year ago, where we had the contractor, we had the funding, we got a lot of funding from the state, and we started construction. That's been, really going along fairly well. We haven't had a whole lot of major issues, and obviously we're safely in the building that we've been in forever, so it didn't impact operations at all. But as we've gone along, we've seen a lot of progress, and I think here in the next couple of weeks, the contractors will be done, and they will step out, and then city workers will go in, and we'll do things focused on IT, and then moving some of the major parts of our records division, of our RTCC. All of the major equipment we'll have to begin putting in. There's a lot of shelving and tables and stuff like that. So that we estimate will take another 4 to 6 weeks. So we're looking sometime in early August, probably getting us past Connie Mack, and all the distraction that is for the entire town, as well as our department supporting that. And we'll begin moving in, so peg that late August that we'll start moving in sections. We're also planning on having a kind of an open house for the public, and you're going to be helping set that up, Shanice?
Yeah, no, and that'll be great. You were saying not too long ago that this is the first police building. I don't even know how old the one is that we've been in, or how long that we've been in it, but it is a big thing for Farmington, and for them to be able to see it would be awesome.
Yeah, so I don't even know how long. I don't know if records show it. The building we're in, probably 1950s. So, if you're pegging 70 years in it, maybe that's a little high. Maybe it's 60 years. But what I've heard is that 70 figure is about right. So the building has morphed from what was once probably all City Hall, but certainly was a court as well, and it's been refurbished and remodeled enough that we've cobbled it together as kind of a police station. But it is definitely up there in age and needs to be retired. And so we'll see what winds up happening. In the next couple of weeks, but I think we'll be able to get in there by early to mid-August, which is a good thing. And we'll have something for all of you to come out. It's generational. There won't be another one in my lifetime, that's for sure, that the police department will have, and probably not another one in Chenise's, although another 80 years, I guess, before she hits 90. So we maybe will see another one in Shanice's lifetime, but you don't wind up with something like this very often. So it is a big deal to the community. The citizens have invested a lot of money into the building and into the refurbishing, and we look forward to having you stop by, see us, and take a look at the building where we're going to wind up moving and spend the next 50 to 60 years in. So I think it's an exciting time.
And I've done some trainings where I've gone to other police departments and it's been recently built, and they give us tours and stuff. How hard was it for you to have a building and having to remodel it into a police department? Like everything from records to evidence to the armory. Was that more difficult? You think it would have been easier to build? We just didn't have the funds.
I think easier to build if we'd have built new, but probably in the vicinity of 40 to 45 million, where we wind up with about 6 million to 7 million into this facility. So that really got to be the driver, is for pennies on the dollar we get the building, and then again to refurbish it and get it pretty pretty close to what you would want if you built in the first place. This will work out just great. I really was happy with the contractor's doing a very good job. As I've been in it a couple of times, we've adjusted some things as we're actually seeing it come to fruition, but that has been good too. So I think it might have been easier and you would have wound up with exactly what you want, but my experience with that is you never get exactly what you want. And so this is really going to turn out very good with a great locker room setting, great weight room for our officers and employees to use. And we'll get our detective division in the same building with the patrol officers. That'll improve communication, improve cohesion of cases and how they're moving throughout the department. So, I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
So
I'm excited too.
Look for that. We will have something on our Facebook page here probably another month, and we'll probably have some food, and we'll have a chance to tour the facility. We anticipate having both our new Bearcat and our new headquarters vehicle, our command vehicle, that we're getting in conjunction with Farmington Fire. The Bearcat we just replaced, and that you probably already have seen a couple of times on the news, if nothing else. But we'll have both of those there as well for the public to view. So that's really a lot of equipment. When you look at the Bearcat, which is $250,000, you're looking at the command van, which is a couple of million, and then this new building. That is a lot of financial investment that our community has made in public safety, both police and fire, with the command van. And we're excited to show it to you and see what you're getting. And all of it's needed. The last command vehicle we had was like an old Winnebago from the 1990s that we've been actually almost having to tow to the yard more than actually be able to deploy it when we needed it in a crisis. So there's a lot of good things happening at the PD right now.
And we've had strong city leadership able to get us those kind of things. We do have a new city manager. Do you want to talk about how those relationships work in order to, like, budgetary things, how we accomplish those kind of things?
Yeah, so Rob Mays will be retiring before our next show, and I think there's might be something public that's coming out on that. For those of you that know Rob, he's been a fixture here as a city manager, longest running city manager in New Mexico right now at about 20 years. He's just in the last couple of weeks, at the end of the month, he's fully retired and he'll be heading out. And meanwhile, Shauna Reeves, who's come up with the city, I don't know if she's fully 20 years probably with the city in one capacity or another, starting as a lifeguard all the way up through Director of Communications and then Director over Parks and Rec. So a long-time hand. Chenise, the last 4 months or so, has been kind of getting her feet under her, going through the first budget process, kind of learning the ropes a little bit, getting familiar with people. I think that transition's actually gone pretty well, which is maybe a little surprising. 20 years is a long time with one city manager, and then to make that transition, sometimes there's difficulties, but really I haven't seen it. And of course I interact with her quite a bit on public safety matters. And she seems like she's falling into the role, and people are transitioning with Rob leaving. They're kind of transitioning to Shauna being in charge. So, I think there's lots of changes at Farmington right now, but I think that's change is good. Change, kind of challenges the status quo and forces you to kind of re-examine the things you've been doing. And we try and do that a bunch at the police department. Challenge the status quo, look at things differently and see if we're really as effective as we could be, or if times have shifted and we need to change. So I am definitely, through the years, I've embraced change a lot more than I think I did when I was younger. It seemed more threatening, and now it's much more an opportunity to get better as an agency. And speaking of change, Chenise is an example of it. You're, I think, my third P.I.O, and we've weathered some real changes. And you were not necessarily a fan of doing the radio shows.
I was not.
But look at you now.
Look at me now. I've done national press conferences. I'm comfortable in front of the camera.
Yes.
We like change over here.
Did you call me Steve? Was that it?
When?
During the national press conference?
No, Chief.
Remember?
We don't talk about
Remember the introduction?
We don't talk about any of the mistakes.
Well, I don't know that was a mistake. It just seemed awful familiar.
No, I think I called you Chief Steve Hebbe.
Chief Steve.
Yeah. No. I don't remember. But now that you're saying Chief Steve, I think that is what it was.
It's just then hard to go up. Like, holy cow, I'm Chief Steve.
It was screwed me up though because we had two Steves, so I was like running through the list, and then the Chief, and then the Steve, and then the Hebbe. Yeah, it completely got crossed.
Yeah. No, that's changed.
It's fine. I was on all the things, ABC, Fox, US. It was what it was.
Yeah, that was within your first 6 months, so those were some challenges.
Yeah, they were.
Meanwhile, I was trotting you out to do these things, which isn't exactly your love, but you've gotten pretty comfortable at them now. And you're so knowledgeable on baseball and football and soccer.
Getting better every day.
Getting better every day. So, we also have, and I think it starts Friday night, the U.S. men's national team, soccer, is in the World Cup. I think our first game is against Paraguay, if I'm not mistaken, in our round robin. We'll see if they can make it out of their bracket. That has not happened much. Really, I think 2010, if I'm not mistaken, was our last deep run. Which was an exciting. Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey were playing. We had some very nail-biting games, and that we'll see how we do here. We didn't make it 4 years ago, or was it 8 years ago? 8 years ago, we did not even make. We didn't even qualify for the World Cup. So this will be exciting. And so if you haven't been to watch a World Cup game, you'll have to tune in.
Have to tune in. Yes, sir.
So. 3 minutes we got left, and we're gonna show you something new that we've got this year.
We have some stickers for the community, some anniversary stickers, which I love. They were very fun to design. It is FPD's patch, which we've never turned into a sticker to be able to give to the community. And then we have the City of Farmington's 125th anniversary. We merged the two and made some stickers to be able to give out to the public. So you can stop by our records department and ask for stickers. If you see an officer that is not on an active call, feel free to ask them if they have any stickers. We have a ton, so please get you some.
So it's 125 years for Farmington, but 250 for our country. So that's interesting round numbers. I do like these. We have not done this very often where we've had a special patch/sticker available to the public. So, usually we have the junior police officer stickers, which we hand out a bunch, but if you have a chance, and even some of the, probably more command staff will have the stickers on them. I've got to get myself some so that we can pass them out a little bit, but stop in and grab one of the stickers. And 125 years for Farmington, 250 for our country.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is.
So for now, try and stay cool. Get into your air conditioning, and we will see you here in just a few weeks. I think the next time we see each other, we'll be approaching Connie Mack, and we'll have some discussions on that. Until then, have a great day, and thank you for joining us.